Hey guys, it's Jambros. I'm back doing another pre-raid loot dungeon and rep guide, this time for Enhancement Shaman, or Spellhance if you will. Remember, since this is pre-raid, you aren't really meant to ever be full bis, unless you go really hard those first 2 weeks. Almost all your items can be upgraded in the raids of naxx, obsidian, sanctum, and Eye of Eternity. These items are meant to be used in that period of time before you enter the raids for the first time, and in between lockouts for slots they haven't been able to upgrade yet to maximize your damage in the meantime. The format is shown here and done per slot. If applicable, there's kind of a BIS 1A and 1B, then also a good to decent option which is behind those two, and then a hit option if you need more hit, and the previous options don't have any. I've also sorted through all these items and where they come from and listed on the right side here. This way you'll have a good idea of which heroic reputation you should be focusing on, and I'll be doing a bit of a priority focus recap at the end. Before we get started, you'll want to know your caps for hit rating and expertise. The expertise cap is more of a soft cap that takes boss dodges off the table when attacking from behind. With no racial help, this is 214 expertise rating. Orcs in particular may lower this cap with the axe spec racial to 173 rating if you're using axes or fist weapons. The special attack hit cap for your melees is very low, only 99 rating needed, and you'll hit that without any effort. Most important for Spellhance is building towards a spell hit cap, which is 368 rating or 342 rating if you're a Draenei. Alright, so starting with the Helm. The best you can get for pre-raid is the engineering crafted Helm, the True Sight Ice Blinders. The raw amount of stats on it are just too good. That said, Mask of the Watcher from the Oculus is not too far behind, and it has a ton of expertise on it. The Duplicitous Guise from Sunwell is still pretty dang good as a third hit option for you. The Emblem Neck isn't the best itemized for Spellhance with the crit rating on it, but it wins out as pre-raid BIS almost solely from being an eye level 200 purple item. The other two options are both better itemized, but just not as good. The Necklace of the Chronolord is a good option if you don't want to spend the emblems yet, and the Necklace of Taldaram is actually a spell power option that has a pretty good amount of hit on it. There is a crafted option here in the Titanium Impact Choker, but I decided not to list it. It's okay, but it also has Armor Pen, which is a pretty terrible stat for us. These three shoulder options are all very close, with an edge to the really big Jormungandr ones from Utgard Pinnacle. The Troll Oven Spallers are a perfectly acceptable expertise piece to have and are bind on equip. At first glance, the Spallers of the Careless Thief look the best, but due to Int giving AP to Enhanced Shaman, they fall a tiny bit further behind. For the Cloak, Enhancement Shaman may be the only spec that Ice Strikers is truly pre-raid BIS, but Shroud of Reverberation is really dang close. Ice Strikers does have the benefit of being able to buy it on the auction house, whereas Shroud drops in Halls of Lightning, a dungeon you will otherwise not need at all. If you're desperate for the hit or happen to stumble upon it, Embrace of Sorrow is an okay option from normal Halls of Stone. The Tier Chest is the best pre-raid chest piece and is one step closer to completing your 4-piece. I will say that the Polished Regimental chest from Argent Crusade Exalted is still very good, a fine item until you have the emblems to spend, and the Aviary Guardsman chests as well, and BOE, but doesn't have that expertise and hit that you almost surely need at this gear level. These Eaglebane Bracers feel like they're over stat budget or something. They are 100% pre-raid BIS, and they're a crafted level 78 blue item that you can buy off the AH for cheap. The Necromantic Risk cards from DTK are also good, but not as good, and I don't really see why you would bother with them. As well as being the second piece you can get from emblems towards your 4-piece bonus, the Tier Gloves are the best pre-raid you can get, but I'd like to give a shout out to these leather gloves from UP. These can make up a ton of your hit rating needed, enabling you to do something like purchase the gloves last. Spellhance is one of the few specs where I wouldn't really consider the emblem belts. Besides saving the emblems, Sovereign's Belt from UP is clearly better than those vendor options, and it's a good amount of hit that you're really going to want. The Sharp Barbed Leather Belt from UK is also not bad. It's an expertise option that is comparable to the leather emblem belt. It was really hard to categorize these 3 leg pieces because they're all amazing and just about equal. There's one haste option, one crit option, and one hit option. Normally I devalue the crit option, but its total amount of stats are just really high. Overall, I like the hollowed mandible leg plates the most for overall damage stats, but the Gored Hide leg guards from Gundrak has 52 hit on it that will probably be useful to you. All of these are good, so just go ahead and take your pick. The Dragon Slayer Sabatons are absolutely perfectly itemized for Enhance, and are pre-raid BIS if you have enough hit rating. If not, the Argent Crusade Exalted boots are easy to get and have 66 hit on them. If you've got plenty of spare gold and the Kirin Tor rep, then by all means buy the Band of the Kirin Tor. It's the best overall ring for you and has some staying powers that can be upgraded in later phases. Your other best two options are the high demand Hemorrhaging Circle and Mobius Band, the hit Agi ring from Culling of Strat. The Circle is better than Mobius Band overall, but they can be interchangeable depending on how your expertise and hit totals look. Meteorite Whetstone and Mirror of Truth are your best pre-raid trinkets. Not only pre-raid, but Phase 1 bis as well. The Greatness deck is close, but not quite as good as these two, so please do not spend that insane amount of gold on the Darkmoon card. Mirror is bought with emblems and should be your first buy. Whetstone drops from the last boss on UP and is probably going to be your most ran dungeon. Sphere of Red Dragon's Blood is not bad if you haven't gotten both of the previously mentioned trinkets yet. I didn't list it here because this should be a pretty easy slot for you, but the Tears of Bitter Anguish are also very good. However, they're a BoE world drop. If you're rich and lazy, then I guess they make a good Whetstone replacement. The Totem slot is easy. It's the elemental plane one that you can just buy from the Heroism vendor for 15 emblems. Just get this for a while, it's cheap after all. Then you can replace it shortly later with a new Totem and naxx. There aren't a lot of great Spellhance pieces pre-raid, but the weapon slot is one piece that you should never be compromising on. As long as it is a slow caster weapon that matches your offhand speed, you get more from the large spell power bonus it gives as opposed to weapon DPS. For pre-raid, this means you'll want to have either Titansteel Guardian or Titansteel Spellblade crafted. Fortunately, these are a 2.5 speed, which matches your best offhand. Pride, which is a fist weapon that can be bought with 50 emblems. And that's pretty much it. For a quick priority list, I like Argent Crusade to Exalted first. It gives you the most available gear choices for you to use. Knights of the Ebon Blade doesn't provide any useful gear for you, but you'll want to hit Revered with them second because they have your Helm enchant and you want to have that done before raids open. Utgard Pinnacle is your number one dungeon priority with 4 very good items that you're going to want. Azjol Narub and Gundrak are good secondary targets for things like a new pair of pants and the Hemorrhaging Circle. Also, you'll definitely want to craft some items. Ice Striker's Cloak, Eaglebane Bracers, and especially a main hand weapon, either the Titansteel Guardian or Spellblade. And lastly, buy Mirror of Truth with your badges first. It'll last you the whole phase. Pride, the offhand fist weapon, is a really good second buy. After that, you can move on to the next piece and tier items. That's it. If you have any questions, drop them below in the comments or come by on Twitch, link below in the description to catch me live. If you like this sort of content and want to help support this channel, be sure to like this video and subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you next time.